Alrighty, so it is Friday, and we have just we've got class tomorrow, but we are at the end of the first week back. First week back at the gym. Our schedule is definitely very not minimal. But we are abbreviated. One thing is, we did get rid of Friday evening classes since they were one of the least popular for show and for show ups. And Sarah and I decided to take a little jostle out to Marble Falls, and now we're going to the Galleria. So we're gonna go walk around the Galleria. We discovered it about 2 weeks ago, and I was like, man, we need to save this for when we're out of places to go explore. And we're not out of places to go explore, but we're ready for somewhere new to explore. So we're going there in just 2 weeks' time. We decided it's time to go explore Galleria. So, anyway, I did want to come on though because we had some great discussion. It definitely, the week has felt long. It was funny on the drive out here that I was like, man, how can we maybe plan out a day to relax and have a day off? And then I realized, holy cow, we haven't even gone a full 7 days back yet, and I'm already trying to think of how to have a day off. And it's like all we've had is days off. So that shows the kind of busyness, but it's fun. A lot of good stuff, just busy and not as productive as I wish I was. But on the positive side, and one step at a time, we have gotten up at 5 o'clock now every weekday for 2 weeks. With the slight exception that my phone died on one day and we slept until 6:30 last week.
What can you do?
But I'm going to stop saying that exception because that will just be what it is. But we have consistently done it. And a huge help to that has been the alarm clock that I use plays music softly, wakes us up in the morning. That is. So I am all about that. But anyway, on our drive, we've just been reflecting on some things. And I definitely, Sarah and I definitely feel like we've hit kind of this stride with the TKN program that we're doing, which is a nutrition program where we have coaches. We've been doing it about 6 months. We have coaches guiding us through our nutrition, and we started it. It cost a lot of money. We spent $7,500 to be a part of this program because we were being trained on how to coach nutrition, and we really felt like we needed to go through something ourselves. Just because, hey, we're gym owners, we should be constantly taking good care of our own nutrition, and if it could help to have coaches, awesome. But then B, it felt like we were supposed to be experts in a program that we didn't really understand, and we're paying for coaching on how to run a program, but yet we hadn't really. It felt like, what I told Sarah is it felt like the equivalent of going to a seminar to become an instructor in Jeet Kune Do, and it's like a weekend seminar, and it's like, man, I need to actually be in the art and training the art before I start training to be an instructor, which I did, by the way. That may sound like I didn't, but anyway, but I know there are things like that exist, and that's kind of how it was for me with Krav Maga. I got my instructor certification, then said I need to actually train the damn art, and then went and joined Krav Maga as a student. Anyway, and I got the certification just because I offered to host a certification course at my gym. But I said I will let you guys do it for free at my gym if I get to do it as well. So it was not because I was trying to be certified without putting in the work. I just wanted the opportunity to get to train Krav Maga for the weekend. Anyway, I want to get into kind of some perspective thoughts that we've been going over. There are 3 big ones. One was yesterday where I was watching some training by Top Coach, or the 1% is what's called, where I'm a member there. And he was talking about, the main guy was talking about how most people the path that they walk is that they will see something that they want and they will pay good money to get it, and then be overwhelmed by it and give up and fall off. And then over time, they will sort of incubate. They will sort of slowly develop the internal bandwidth to take on the work that is required for them to get the result that they originally wanted. And so you have to factor that into your coaching. Since the way I have 21-day challenge or whatever, 6-week challenge is what I've had the most experience of this with, where someone signs up, they're so excited to do a 6-week challenge, even putting down $500 deposit to do it. That's how committed they say they are. And then they disappear after just a short few days or a couple of weeks. They disappear, they stop coming, and they lose that money. And to me, I sort of just, I write them off. I don't factor them in that that's a part of their journey, is that they needed to see what they were up against. They needed to fail to see what kind of work it would actually take. And then I need to have a pathway to welcome them back on when they've had time to incubate and really take on the amount of work. And a lot of those people would sign up as members even though they lost their money. And I needed to have what I could have done that would have been beneficial is to factor it in and create a way to onboard them to have a second transformation opportunity for the challenge. And it made me think of the hero's journey, and that maybe that's why the hero's journey resonates with us so much, is because we instinctively, we all do that. We all see things that we want, and externally we want them, but we don't want to have to shift internally. And so we have to fail first and then just kind of incubate and slowly become the person who's ready to actually put in the work to get what they want. If that's just a common universal way of doing things, and if I could reframe people's failures in that respect, it might be able to help me in my coaching. Second thing on the drive out here, so Sarah and I were talking about how being a part of the TKN program has just really, we feel like it's kind of changed who we are for the better. Much more than just being calorie counting. And it made me think about Eben Pagan, who talks about the 3 levels of learning. And the first is learning equals behavior change. So if you have not changed your behavior, you have not learned. So when you get that, then that means if you've learned something, it means that your behavior changed because of that. So if you change your behavior, you've changed something. Level 2 learning is changing yourself, and then that changing many behaviors. So you actually up level. You become a new version of you. And because of that new version of you, many behaviors change. And then the 3rd level of learning is learning how you learn, and then using that to put yourself in a situation to constantly up level. So level 3 learning is changing your environment, changing your situation, putting things in place so that you're constantly up leveling. And so my thought around that was how that's something I need to do, because we were talking about hiring somebody. I had an interview with someone that I really like. Is he a 10 out of 10 on all the check boxes that I have in my mind? Maybe not. But one thing I do believe is I do well with an accountability piece, where if I'm on the hook for training somebody and I'm paying them money and they're relying on a paycheck, I am very good at getting clear on my goals. And so I realized, man, that is because I have somebody relying on me for a $3,000 a month paycheck. That forces me to be accountable and to take the actions I need to do. And so in some ways, hiring somebody has a lot to do with putting me in a situation where I am at level 3 learning. I'm putting myself in a situation where I have to up level. I have to change who I am over and over to keep things going. Anyway, I forgot what the 3rd thing was. That was a bit of a profound aha, but I'm at the 10-minute mark. So gonna let it go. We're gonna walk around Galleria now. Bye-bye.